Hello fellow colorists, welcome back to the channel, JI Colourist. My name is Jody and today we are continuing our birthstones gem series for the year. It is September and the birthstone is a sapphire. Now I am going to be using the Adult Gems Volume 2 by Cynthia Kloeter, and as my practice thing, at the back of the book there are some empty gem templates that you can use to practice on. This is what the page looked like before, so just some basic shapes. The sapphire is a faceted stone. It starts as a crystal, so I actually needed to add a few lines to these. So these are 4 different ones that I've already practiced on, and I wanted to bring you along. I was having a hard time getting the right blue that I was envisioning in my mind for the picture that I'm going to be doing. I will put on screen a bunch of pictures throughout the video of the sapphires in their both their raw and their gem quality state. If you take a look at this one, where I have, so it started out like this, and I have added a bunch of facets myself. So it's not professional by any means. I used a pencil or a pit artist pen to draw the blue lines on there. So these all were empty in the middle. This was Bronzeal Design pencils. I used pencil number 50, 55, 58, and number 91. I used the Arrtx white paint pen and also a Chinese white pencil to try and make the reflections on there, and then I also blended with Gamsol with those. So this is the second one that I did, and I wasn't thrilled with it. This was my first one that I did. I used polychromos pencils in Danthro blue, cobalt blue green, and Hilo blue reddish, and these was how it turned out. On top I used a Signo white gel pen, and I'll show you what that looks like. It looks like this, and then I kind of smeared it a little bit with my finger, but I wasn't pleased with that. I also used a silver Signo gel pen to also put on some highlights to see which worked best. So I wasn't really pleased with either of those, so I went to a third pencil and I pulled out my Arrtx pencils, and these are the ones that I'm going to use today in our video. So I have pulled out, I have the Arrtx 126 set. I have the color family chart by Color with Claire. I selected colors from this area here, and the colors I have selected are indigo, manganese, ocean blue, true blue, and then white. So I've got 4 blue and a white, and that is what I used on this one. And these were larger facets than these ones, and I liked how this one turned out the most. Is it exactly like a blue sapphire? Well, I'll show you on screen that there is a blue sapphire color scale, and there are all colors of sapphires. Sapphires do come in all colors, however they are most common in light to dark blue. You can get them in other colors other than red. If you had a red sapphire, that would actually be a ruby. So after I did this one, I decided to use this triangle here and make a bunch of little facets and see how that worked. The outside I used a Signo metallic blue gel pen, and on the inside I tried silver and blue just to see how it worked. I didn't like either of them, so probably won't be using the Signo metallic pens for this. And then I experimented with using the 4 blues from up here and blending with white as the blender, and leaving some areas white of the paper and then colored. So just doing a bunch of practicing to find out exactly the right one. I do not, or have not previously, colored a sapphire, so it did take a little bit more practice. I have done more rubies and emeralds and stuff. So yeah, so I am learning along with you on this journey for sure. So I do not profess to be an expert, but I am having fun learning about these, and we will take what we have learned here and transfer our knowledge into our Grains of Gold book. And I have selected a page from here. There was a bunch of pages I could have selected, but this one here reminded me of the shape of a sapphire the most. So we are going to color, it looks like two swans or two geese. I'm not sure which. They look rather large animals, so either way, we'll be coloring the sapphire today with you. And we will be using the Arrtx pens. So let me clear the table off and get set up, and we will get started. And I have my dog Daisy here today, and she's panting quite a bit. So I think she's just a little bit nervous and distraught today. So I apologize if you're hearing any of that noise. All right, see you soon. So for start off, I selected this stone here for the sapphire because it is a faceted stone, and sapphire is definitely a faceted stone. It's actually a crystal in its raw form, and I will show you a picture on screen of it. The typical color, as I mentioned, is blue, so we are going with that. The sapphire is found in Australia, Afghanistan, Cambodia, China, Nigeria, Thailand, Montana, USA, Burma, India, so basically almost everywhere on the planet, which is quite interesting. So there's an abundance of it. The trace elements of iron and titanium are what give it its light to dark blue color, and as I said, sapphire can be in any color other than red, because then it would be a ruby. We're going to go ahead and start with the lightest blue, which is true blue in the Arrtx pencil, and it's AT2030, I believe. The numbers are very, very tiny, and I'm going to just start by doing the very center of the stone. Now if you look at the pictures on screen, you'll notice that when there's a reflection on a sapphire, it's actually just blindingly white, and there doesn't seem to be a lot of internal refraction. Like when the light hits it, like this could be white, this could be dark, like it's just a very sudden shifting reflection, so I wasn't used to that. So that is a little bit different. So it doesn't have as much of a glow as, say, an emerald does. It has more of a dramatic shift to it. So now I'm just taking the white, which is AT0001, and I'm just adding a bit of white to the middle. I'm going to use the white as a blender, and I'm also going to bring in the Prismacolor blender pencil. So as I mentioned, the heat treatment that is used to adjust the color of the sapphires, so that's a common thing. But sapphires are not only used in jewelry. One of the very first lab created gemstones was the synthetic sapphire, and they are used in many things like watch crystals, phone screens. So it's very, very useful. Just doing another layer here. And then I'm going to take a bit darker. So the next one up would be ocean blue. So what I'm going to probably end up doing is either leaving some of the page white or trying to find a white that works well. I don't seem to have very much luck with white gel pens, so I might actually break out a Posca pen or some P.H. Martin bleed proof white and see how that goes. My dog Daisy wants a bit of attention, so coloring with one hand and petting my dog with the other. Oh, good grief. So this is just a Prisma colorless blender, and I'm just blending this out a bit. You want to have a couple of layers down before you do blending, because it basically burnishes the paper, and it's pretty hard to add any layers after that. So you'll have to comment below if you have a watch crystal or a phone that uses a sapphire in the crystal of the watch or the screen of your phone. Okay, we're going to leave the center like that. I'll zoom you in just a little bit more. I'm going to jump down to the next. So this is still ocean blue. I'm just going to completely, the facets are small enough that probably not going to, other than white, I'm not going to be doing like 3 or 4 colors in each little facet. I'll probably be blending with the white mostly. And the white will add enough glow, I'm hoping, to this. So the next one is manganese blue. I'm not going to add any white to this one because I want there to be some definite color differences between all 4 blues. And then this blue here is my indigo blue, and I'm going to go darkest right in between them. And then I'm going to bring a white, and I want to have a white. I'm going to put the white down first and then come in with my lightest blue, which is true blue, and put it on top. And then another layer of white on top of that. And I'll do that to this side too. That's how that's looking. Now the dramatic shifts, as you'll see on screen on some of the bigger stone that I'm showing, really indicate how the colors just are totally different. So yeah, so pick 3 or 4 shades of blue that you want your sapphire to be, and then just start filling in the little squares, and then we'll have to come in with some white at some point, or some kind of bright lightning agent, because in order to get the effect after we've colored everything, we'll come in and lighten up some of these areas even more. Okay, still using my 4 colors. This one is indigo blue. The sapphire is actually, besides being the birthstone for September, it is also the 5th and the 45th wedding anniversary stone. For all you September babies, you'll have to let me know if you own or wear any sapphires. This is ocean blue. Just trying to place, it doesn't have to be symmetrical. In fact, the less symmetrical probably the better in this case, because it is all different. So I've got ocean blue here. I won't necessarily put ocean blue over here, so maybe I'll come in with a lighter blue here. And our darkest blue. Keep doing this and filling out rest of this. And we'll come back and we'll try and give it some life. But in the meantime, I'll turn a little bit of music on so you're not hearing my dog pant. Okay, I have my dog settled now, and we're back to coloring. So a few other things about the sapphires is to clean them, you just use a soft, so what now we're talking about jewelry, use a soft toothbrush and warm soapy water. So no special cleaners required, so that's kind of nice. On the Mohs hardness scale, it is a 9, so, and this hardness scale is out of 10. So it's quite hard, it's quite a durable stone, so it makes for great jewelry. I am using the manganese blue for this area around here. And I'm going to leave this one white and for now, and we'll see how that looks. And this is the ocean blue. I do want to get rid of any white, so if I see any white, I'll just go over each of the facets to make sure that there's no white. I'm not going to use Gamsol on this, but I will use the white pencil, the Arrtx pencil, to do some blending. And I'll just go over even this area here. I'll just keep coming around, doing a few more layers, blending it in. Planning on leaving the center area the lightest though. Can also go heavier on the bottom and then just kind of fade up and then bring in the white to blend that out. So it's still using just the same colors, but then each facet doesn't have to be a solid color. It can have some variation within the facet itself. I hope everybody's having a good week. Hope you're having a few minutes to yourself to be able to get some coloring in. So that's what I'm going, that's how I've done this side, just kind of picking and choosing some different colors. I will go ahead and finish off the rest of this. I'll do a little bit more sped up on camera, and then I'll come back with a completed gemstone. Okay, I have completed the gemstone. I'm now going to take a Prismacolor blender, and I'm just going to make sure the tip is cleaned off, and I'm going to do some blending. Now you notice I have left some of the facets white, and that's because I'm going to use those as reflections. And instead of trying to go over some of the blue areas with a white, I've left them white, and I'm going to come in with a clear Jelly Roll metallic, so it's the clear gel pen, and it just has a bit of glitter on it, and I'm going to put that over the empty facets and see how that looks. So I'm just gonna try and get rid of as much of the white specks of the paper with the blender pencil. There's no right or wrong way to do this. So if you have a idea, and if you've mastered some gem in your coloring books, I'd love to hear some of your tips on what you do to make them stand out and sparkly. We have used things like Winsor Newton iridescent medium in the past, or some glaze, glossy accents and stuff like that. So we'll see how this looks. But I think it's coming together. It definitely looks like a blue gemstone, and I do like the white left where it is. So again, this is the Jelly Roll Clear, and I'm just going to go right over top of just the empty spots. Give them a little bit of shine. Now you could have selected any of these to be white, so you didn't have to do the ones that I selected. And then I'm going to select a couple of the lighter color blue ones and go over those as well. Okay, I'm going to let that dry, and then I'm going to come back and take a look at how that's going and see if I need to do something else. Okay, be right back. Okay, I do like how this is looking. I have actually also gone around and drawn the outside black line with the clear Jelly Roll. It doesn't bring out a lot of sparkle, so what I thought I might do is bring in my glossy accents, and instead of putting it all over the whole thing, I thought I would limit it to just the very dark facets, so that I would bring in some shine to the darkest ones as well. So I'm just going to come and do only the dark facets. And that'll bring out just a little bit of a different look. It'll provide a little bit more shine, but it's not going to be the whole gemstone. So I think that that'll emphasize the fact that there's facets on here and that we have different colors. So I haven't ever tried this before, but I thought if there was a gemstone that would look cool on, it might be the Sapphire. So we're going to try it and see how that goes. Now my glossy accents is the normal Ranger one. I have just put it in a separate container with a long, I think it's like an 18 gauge needled end. You still have to provide quite a bit of pressure to get it to come out, so it certainly isn't something easy if you have hands that maybe have a hard time squeezing things. But I do get a much finer control from this than the big bottle. Okay, those are all the pieces I'm going to do. Maybe I'll actually do a couple of these. I'll let this dry and we'll come back and see how it looks. Okay, we're back and this has dried sufficiently. I have also started on the head of this swan, and I have confirmed that they are definitely swans. I'll also point out the rest of the stones here. I have used 3 different glazes actually. I've used the dark blue glaze on these stones down here and the lighter blue glaze on the other stones, and then there's these stones as well. And then I've used the black glaze around this area outside. And then I'm using the Staedtler pigment pen for the black. There is two blacks. There's an intense black and a light black. So I've used the light black there so that I can come in with the glaze around the outside to have a little bit of differentiation. So that's what I'm doing so far on the swan. As for the sapphire, I'm quite happy with how this is looking. What I think I might do though is go ahead. I do like how it looks like there's some different definitions with the, if you can kind of see that, with the glaze in certain areas. And what I'm going to do to finish this off is bring in my silver dual metallic gel pen, and just on the areas where the light is, I'm going to, so the corner, I'm going to put a little dot, and I'm going to go up and down and kind of make a little starburst. So I'm not always great at that, but so that's a little starburst, and that'll just add a little bit of reflection. And I'll also do that right here. And I'm doing it where it is already a light area attached to it so that it kind of makes sense. So I don't want to do it right here. I've already got 3 glaze areas, so if I try and do a starburst, it's going to run on top of the glaze, and that's not going to work. So I'm kind of also being a little bit strategic to make sure that it actually shows up. There. So that's the third one. And that's all I'm going to do for there. Sometimes less is more. If you went and put one right in the center, that kind of would look a little bit strange in my opinion. But feel free to go ahead and add. I can add also the silver on the side. I had the clear on the edge before, but on the places where it's quite dark, I might just go over and add a bit of silver. So not everywhere, but okay. And that's going to be our sapphire. You certainly could produce a sapphire with many different blues and also different facet types, but for the first sapphire that I've completed in an actual coloring book instead of just on some test books, I think that I'm happy with this. Thank you so much for coming along with me and learning how to do the gems of the gemstones of the birth months. Learning lots and enjoying so far. So I hope you're enjoying this series as well, and I look forward to next month where we will learn how to do an opal. So that's looking forward to October's birthstone. All right, until next month, I hope you're having a creative and colorful week, and I will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.